Bank robbers who are surfers? The FBI force can hardly believe that Agent Angelo Pappas is actually considering such a thing. But what do they care? He's probably gone loopy. He's old and washed up, unable to adapt to the new system of the FBI. So they ignore his theory, letting the notorious bank robbers, the ex-presidents, rob as many banks as they like. But Pappas can't believe it when a rookie Agent Johnny Utah is assigned to him. After all, the kid's a damn ex-football player. How the hell is he supposed to solve this bank robbery case with this college punk by his side? But Pappas soon learns that Utah is a crack shot, and he's also clever and supportive of Pappas's mocked theory. Together, they set out to get the elusive robbers, realizing that wax was found at a previous crime scene and that the robberies only take place every summer. The robbers move with the waves. Utah goes deep undercover to find the surfers, meeting Tyler, a tough tomboy chick who can surf like a devil and is a very reluctant mentor as well. He says he's a lawyer and that his parents died. After learning from the FBI system that Tyler's folks are dead too, he uses this to soften her and get her to be his teacher. But is Utah ready for the world of surfers? An elusive sort of tribe that rides on the waves and lives for the eternal thrill of almost meeting their end. He gets tumbled by massive waves and the spiritual and manipulative surfer, Bodhi, Tyler's ex-boyfriend, and the leader of a pack of thrill-seeking hothead surfers. Utah gets accepted into their group, but as he becomes closer to Bodhi and his pals, he loses sight of their guilt and grows to care for Bodhi as a friend. He botches up an operation with a possible group of surfer suspects who are in fact crystal meth dealers. Through a massive shooting, blood, and naked brawling with two angry females involved with the punks, they learn that these guys aren't their culprits, and that an undercover DEA agent was in fact trying to bust them on drug dealing after months of undercover work. As if this isn't enough to make Utah want to take a ticket out of there, he almost catches Bodhi on a mad chase scene on foot after he stakes out to catch the robbers, but is unable to shoot him because he cares for Bodhi. He also injures his already surgery-plagued knee from falling off a slope onto concrete. Pappas doesn't buy Utah's story of him missing Bodhi, as he knows Utah is an incredible marksman. Later, Bodhi and Utah go skydiving, but the surfer has something up his sleeve. His psycho friend Rosie is holding Tyler hostage after she finds out that Utah isn't a lawyer but a cop and runs off after holding Johnny at gunpoint. Rosie threatens to kill Tyler, and the only way Johnny can save her is by helping the ex-presidents in one last heist. But Bodhi makes a fatal error. He gets greedy and goes for the vault, overextending their time and losing a crew member, as well as killing an off-duty cop who tries to be a hero. Johnny is knocked out by a maddened Bodhi and left to be arrested by his own force, mocked by the ass-licking agents who are always on his and Pappas's back. They arrest Johnny and are disgusted with him killing a fellow cop, but Utah is totally oblivious to this, hating Bodhi inwardly like a disease. Pappas knows Utah acted like a jockstrap and made a bad move by falling into Bodhi's trap, but he defends his young partner anyway against the arrogant, pompous ass that is Agent Ben Harp, telling the smart ass that he was on the force when he was still popping his zits and jerking off to the lingerie section of the Sears catalog. He then punches Harp and knocks him out, saying that he's also always respected his elders and that Harp should learn to too. Now the heat is on, as Utah knows that the only reason he got involved in the robbery was because of Tyler, but now it's become too personal, and Bodhi has gone way too far. But then again, how far is too far for someone as radical as Bodhi? Utah and Pappas go alone to where he and Bodhi first went skydiving, and this results in a massive shoot-off and Pappas being blown away by the cowardly Roach, who also gets shot and bleeds out on the plane. They get Utah on the plane and claim that there's no more parachutes, and Roach leaps off saying he'll see Johnny in hell. Johnny jumps after Bodhi though, and in an adrenaline-pumping scene, he tells Bodhi to pull the chute or he'll blow Bodhi's head off. Being fearless, Bodhi says either way they die, and Johnny pulls the chute in a furious gesture of loathing for the other man. They land in the desert plains of an unknown area. Roach's corpse lies on the dusty ground, and the money flits into the air with a green haze against the blue sky. Tyler is released by Rosie, and him and Bodhi ride off down the dusty track to wherever they plan to go. Years later in Australia, Bodhi's prediction of the 100-year storm that would cause the Pacific to swell and produce huge waves comes true. But Utah has been tracking his ex-friend, and in the tumultuous storm that the heavens spill upon the Australian coast, the sea swells and floods caused by colossal amounts of rainfall, we see Johnny again walking to the beach. Surfers retreat in droves from the beach, claiming that only a madman would stay on the ocean in such a tremendous outbreak of fury over the sea. But Johnny knows one man who would, Bodhi, and he's come to collect him to be locked up at last. Bodhi is staring out to sea, the figure of peace, and in his eyes we see the hunger to ride those waves. Johnny breaks his trance and tells him that he's been tracking him and Rosie for some time now, and that he finally got a break when he found Rosie's marred corpse in a bar after a bad fight. He says he feared that Bodhi would just vanish after that, though, but he knew that he would never miss the 100-year storm. Bodhi says that it's typical that Utah's here, and that he guesses that the agent has finally got his man. He tries to escape, though, almost drowning Johnny in the waves as they pummel each other, falling about in the grayish foam water of the sea. Utah handcuffs Bodhi, however, and tells him that he told the cops that Bodhi would go quietly. Bodhi begs him not do this, saying he'd die in a cage. Utah doesn't care anymore. It's time that his compadre went down. In the end, however, he lets Bodhi go and ride the ferocious waves that rise in terrifying heights like walls of water. Utah watches as Bodhi paddles out to his death as the water crashes into him. Utah stands in the pouring rain, his now long hair sopping and his eyes full of a strange sort of peace. The Australian policemen are livid that he let Bodhi go and say, "We'll get him when he comes back in." Johnny walks away and chucks his FBI badge into the ocean and replies, it seems, to the raging waves, he's not coming back.